What's going on, everybody? Billy Floyd here, just touching base. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Friday. You had a really good week and you're looking forward to a really great weekend. I know this is a totally odd time for a Facebook Live video. Usually I'm at work saving the internet, but right now I'm actually on the way into work from two radio shows that the Commodore Jay Stevens and I put on this morning at Mayhem in the AM and Max 98.3. So I'm on the way into work now. Yes, it is 12:30. I'm going to get there around 1, put in a good 4 hours of real work, and then bounce and have a freaking awesome weekend. So I hope you guys are having a really good week. I hope you're looking forward to your weekend. And I just wanted to touch base and thank you guys so much for tuning in, for sharing the videos, for being a part of this, because it helps me anytime I have conversations like this and I talk about the law of attraction, when I talk about the three big things that you can receive by giving. It's really awesome to have a great crew and a great audience and people that actually contribute, because you guys help me, man. You really do. What you contribute in the chat, what you contribute by what you say, and just being a part of it, it really motivates me to think about other things that I want to talk to you guys about, to think about other things that I need to think about. So one thing that I was thinking about today was making sure you're paying attention to your open doors. Now, a lot of times what happens in our life, and this happens with work, it happens with friends, it happens with relationships, it happens with everything, is we get so wrapped up in doors that have closed, we fail to see doors that have opened. We're so confused. Like, for example, say you lose a job. Say you've been with a job for a decade, whatever. You're with a job for a decade, and the next thing you know, you show up one morning, and that's it, you're fired. And that's it, it's done. That job's gone. That door is closed. For some reason, we hang on. We have trouble letting go. You know, the mind has trouble letting go. That this can't be right, because we're creatures of habit. You know, we're creatures of repetition. And that's kind of how we build our whole thing on, is this structure, this repetition that gives us stability in our life. That's why structure is so important in the military. You wake up, you PT, you eat breakfast. I've never been in the military, but I've had some friends in the military, so correct me if I'm wrong. But there's amazing amounts of structure because it helps us progress. We put pillars in place and it helps us build higher and higher and higher. So if you think about building a family, if you want a family, what do you need? Well, it would be best, the traditional way is you need a significant other. In this day and age, it really doesn't matter, you know, but I always recommend that you have a partner, be it a guy or a girl. It really doesn't matter as long as love is true. That's really it. So if you want a family, you need good pillars. You need a good mom, a good dad, good parental figures. 2 dads, 2 moms, it really doesn't matter. So you can raise these children in a healthy environment. But without those pillars, it's really hard to get the family. So we put these things in place to make sure that we can continue to grow. So we have a really good job. Great. That means I can afford a car. That means I can afford a house. Excellent. That means I can afford luxuries. Okay, wonderful. So we build on top of these things. Well, if we lose the job, we still have the responsibilities of the car. We still have the responsibilities of the house. So that's where the stress comes in. And we focus so long at the door to hopefully it opens up. What's going on, guys? Good to see you, man. Hopefully the door opens back up. And sometimes it does, and your work calls you back and says, hey, you know, John, your manager, was a dick. We want to get you back. We want to bring you back. And that's rare. That doesn't happen a lot. In relationships, it's very, very similar. Relationships can be really hard, man. They can be really, really confusing, especially long-term relationships. They're all new feelings for people, and people aren't necessarily sure exactly what the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it is. So sometimes, in a short period of time, somebody will make a decision and end a relationship thinking this may be the best bet. And then once they spend some time alone and they think about what's going on, sometimes they realize, yeah, it was the best bet, this was the right move. Or they realize, well, that was dumb, I shouldn't have done that. And the problem is the other person, usually the recipient, they're staring at a closed door. They're looking at this door hoping that it opens back up again. And it may never open. And the whole time that you're staring at this closed door, it is quite possible that other doors around you are opening up. So anytime I left a job, or anytime a job left me, which I've been fired a couple times because, well, I'm me, I never went back. Never happened. I didn't need to. Why go back? Why? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So I tried to never stare at closed doors when it came to professional employment, ever. When it came to friends is one thing. When it came to relationships is another thing. However, if you stare at a closed door for long enough, you'll potentially miss the opportunity of other doors that are opening for you. And that could be a big problem. Everything apparently happens for a reason. I'm not sure what I believe. I don't know if I believe in God. I don't know if I believe in a higher power. I have no idea if there's anything that exists or if we're just things on a place that are floating through space. I have no clue. It is amazing how some things match up though. But you got to be careful with your puzzle piece, because if the puzzle piece doesn't fit perfectly and you try to smash it in there, the picture is going to be effed up. It's not going to work. You may want a piece that fits so bad that you're willing to do anything to make it fit. You're willing to sacrifice who you are. You're willing to sacrifice what you want to make the puzzle piece fit so you can get the picture that you think you want. And the problem is, if the puzzle piece doesn't fit, the picture that you want is not going to appear. It doesn't matter how hard you try. So you got to make sure your pieces fit. When the door is open, recognize that a door is open. Recognize that an opportunity is open. And take the chance. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out? Okay, great, no big deal. More doors will open up. But if you stare at a closed door for too long, you miss great opportunities. Now, a lot of times we can get involved emotionally with relationships, with work, with friends, with a band. Last year it happened to me with my band, The Adolescent Theory. I got involved emotionally. And when that door closed, I spent so much time paying attention to it. I wanted another door, so I built a door to blacken the mind. And I figured, okay, I can make a lily pad jump. I can make a transition from emotional insight from Adolescent Theory to Blacken the Mind. It didn't take very long for Blacken the Mind to stop altogether. Blacken the Mind and I had broken up before. It just didn't work. The way that the business was being run was not conducive to a healthy environment. And for some odd reason, 6 years later, I thought it had changed. Listen, left up to their own entities, people don't change. Now, I'm going to say that again, there's two parts. Not just people don't change. Left up to their own entities, people don't change. So unless there's a dynamic switch, and unless there's a massive flip, unless there's something that happens in somebody's life to be a catalyst to make them change their way of thinking and living, they will stay exactly the same forever. It's who we are, it's who we have grown as a person, it's how our ego is built. We are who we are, and that is it. Now, we can evolve, of course, absolutely. As we grow older, we learn how to deal with anger better. We learn how to deal with lust better. We learn how to deal with depression better. We learn how to deal with sadness and loss better, absolutely. But the emotion is still the same. We just get better at dealing with it. So, the Adolescent Theory and I didn't work out, and I stared at that door for a long time hoping it would open up because it was wrong that the door was closed. I didn't do anything to deserve it. I was hoping they were going to come to their senses and open the door back up. And they didn't. And that's okay. That's okay. Looking back at it now, I'm glad the door didn't open up because I'm in a way better spot. Same thing happened with Blacken the Mind. I was with Blacken the Mind for a short period of time. We played a couple shows and I realized I was doing all the work. Again, I was booking all the shows, hosting all the practices, doing all the social media. I was doing everything. Again, it was the same as it was last time. That fizzled out real quick. It didn't last very long at all. And then I thought, man, what am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do now? I thought, wait a minute, what do you mean, what am I supposed to do? That doesn't even make any sense. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. You keep going. That's it. You keep pushing forward. Whether it comes to a job, whether it comes to a passion, whether it comes to friendships, when it comes to relationships, you fight and you fight till you can't fight any longer, and you push forward. However, if you don't pay attention to the open doors, they will never present themselves because you won't see them. So for example, last year when Blacken the Mind bailed, they bailed on 4 shows that I had booked. They pulled out of every single one of them and they left me alone to deal with all of them by myself. Kind of a dick move, but what had happened was, I found myself at Venue 578 playing a 1-hour set, a solo set by myself. An hour at Venue 578 by myself, which I love, man. I mean, I can do it all day long, it's no big deal. That turned into my next 5-piece project. I picked up a show that Blacken the Mind bailed on, and I could have canceled. I could have just backed out, but I didn't. I stepped up and I played the show by myself. I met my bassist, my drummer, my guitarist, all in the same night. If I didn't take that opportunity, it never would have happened, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. But I took the opportunity, I saw the open door, and I ran through that bitch before it could close on me. And if I needed to, I would have pried that bitch open with a freaking crowbar. But you gotta focus on your doors, guys. Doors don't always stay open for you all the time. They don't. They close, they open. It's just the way it works. What up, Beast? Good to see you, bro. So you gotta keep your mind focused on the open doors. That's it, because they're everywhere. They're all over the place. Whether it be with friendships, relationships, whether it be with work, whether it be with a passion, it doesn't matter. You know, there's so many bands that lost the label and went to another label. A label said, you know what, go F yourself. You're not good, you're not going to do anything with your music's terrible, it's not going to work out. Okay, no big deal. So what do? You keep going. I've been in the music industry for a long time. I get doors closed on me all the time. You know what I did? I cut a hole in the wall and I built my own. And that's what I'm doing now. Now I have the opportunity to open doors for other people. So this morning I had my friend Jay, my other friend Jimmy, his girlfriend Cody, my tech John, my photographer Rob, and we took over 2 radio stations today. Mayhem in the AM and Max 98.3. And why did we do that? Why? Why did it happen? Why did I do that? Number one, because I could. I literally created a game between both radio stations that nobody has ever done before. The Sidekick Clash. It wasn't focused on the main guys, because it's always focused on the main guys. It was focused on the right-hand man. That's what it was focused on. And this was the second one, and we fucking killed it, man. It was awesome. We had a really great time. Everybody really enjoyed it. And it's important, guys. You got to understand that. If you pay attention to a door that's closed, you'll miss the other doors that open. And that's it. You may be somewhere in your life right now where you feel trapped. You may be somewhere where you feel like you've got no open doors. You may be somewhere where you're hoping a door opens back up. There were several times that I lost a job. Twice. Three times I got fired. 4 maybe. The first time I got fired, I totally deserved it. There's nothing I could do about that one. So I couldn't do anything about that one. The next time I got fired was from a network engineer position. And it was pretty much because I wore my hat during my lunch break. It was stupid, but they didn't like me anyway. I stared at that door for far too long, hoping that that door was going to open back up, and I missed a couple really great opportunities. Bad idea, Billy Floyd. But I learned from that. I learned that those doors are open and they're not going to be open for very long. Somebody else could run through and shut it right behind you. So you got to pay attention to your doors. Watch your puzzle pieces. It's so vital. A lot of times we try to force people into our lives that don't necessarily fit perfectly, but we want them to. So we convince ourselves that it's going to work. We convince ourselves that this puzzle piece is going to fit and it's going to complete this grand picture that I have in my mind, and it's going to be beautiful and perfect. Well, the puzzle piece doesn't fit perfectly. No problem. Let me put some pressure on it. Let me hammer it down. Let me see if I can get it to fit. And if you guys have ever put a puzzle together before and you were pretty sure that this is where that puzzle piece went, and the people that cut out the puzzle pieces, they're the ones that messed up, and this puzzle piece goes here, if you force it in there and you continue to build your picture, you're going to find out in a very short period of time, that's not where that goes. You're going to have to take it out again. And you spend so much time putting it in. It may not be its home. It should happen natural. It should be peaceful. It should be easy to fit. And dealing with friendships, and dealing with professional relationships, and dealing with relationships, you got to work at it, man. It's not easy. It's not always going to be easy. There's always going to be things that come up that make that relationship tough, always. And the thing that you have to remember is, if you take a professional job, if you're involved in a band, if you're involved in a relationship, you make a commitment to one another, that you buckle down and you pull through. And that's it. As long as one person is fighting, you guys have a chance. Once both people give up, once the band gives up, once the company gives up, and everybody gives up, it's done. But if you truly believe in it, and you believe that's where you need to be, and it's worth it, you fight your ass off for it. But again, if the door closes, don't spend any time staring at it, kids. There's other doors that may open right in front of you. Don't be afraid to step through and see what it's all about. My name is Billy Floyd. You guys have a really good weekend. I love you guys. As always, peace, love, and loads and loads and loads of happiness. Have a great weekend, folks, and I will talk to you soon. We are tomorrow at the venue in Winter Park, just outside Orlando. Go to billyfloyd.com, click on store. You can grab your tickets for $10. If you want to get them from me, let me know. I hope to see you guys there, and to share what I do with you is the greatest gift I could possibly have. Thank you very much, guys. You guys have a great day. Stay out of trouble. I love you. Bye.